Alright guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at Xiao Chao Meng, who a lot of people would argue is the best top laner in the world, who gained a lot of notoriety for peaking over 2k LP over on the Chinese super server. We've got an absolute banger of a game today with XCM on his near perfect Darius, so let's just jump straight into the game and see what we can learn. Okay, so heading straight into the game, we've got XCM on Darius into the Jayce. D-shield with a pot with Ghost Flash, pretty standard. I'm gonna see, we start the queue just for the last hit. Jayce got pretty strong level 1. Gonna let him auto us there just because we get the equal trade with the minions. When they walk up this far, you don't have to get pushed off of XP. Jayce actually starts at E, so we're gonna walk in, try and land the Q, but Jayce manages to space it. Gonna take a bad trade there. Again, minion's gonna deal quite a bit of that back to the Jayce, so not too awful. Jayce hits the level 2. Gonna go for the E second. And quite hard to contest the Jayce shove at this point. Battlegraves is pathing top, so we land the E, auto Q. Get the 4-stack bleed. So again, E, auto, Q, land another auto. That's Jayce's full combo. And I'd say in terms of agency of damage, as we Q flash in, Jayce flashes away, drops the ignite. And this is where that ghost is going to come into play. Jayce getting a nice QE off, but it's on cooldown now. Jayce actually managing to get out there. That's a rare mistake from XCM there. That little burst of movement speed from the Jayce ult there, just getting him out. Now we would be in a bit of an awkward position, but we have the Graves coming topside. Managed to burn the Jayce E. Do take a Q, but I think this is going to end up being a nice little bait for the Graves. E at perfect range, get the guaranteed Q. Nicely done. So, if you don't know, for a lot of champs, without mobility, these sort of E auto Qs are pretty guaranteed. Once you get the timing down. So he wasn't too scared of the Jayce being able to burst in before then, because that health is guaranteed, like I keep saying. Gonna shove this wave out and get the recall. I'm not sure what we'll be going for. It looks like we might be rushing... Okay, I thought we might have been rushing tabbies, because we've got the double AD top jungle. But we will see. Not sure if the new patch has really changed much for Darius build path, but have a gander as we run back top lane. Jayce picking up the tier. Wave is slowly pushing back into us. Is good, we have no sums. See Shaker on the map. We try and walk up for the Q poke. Again, managed to land fat chunk of damage there. See where these stacks came from. I think Jayce still had 1 stack on him. I think he did there. The auto W, landing the Q. Kind of want to see that one more time. So Jayce, trying to see if that stack falls off. Okay, so the stack did fall off. So it's E auto. Auto Q. Punks him out. Ripe for diving. As you see, especially when they're on this health, the constant walking up to harass with Q poke, even with a champ like Jayce, like his damage isn't that insane before he gets an item or two. We get a nice little trade again. It's those perfect animation cancels though. Like you can barely see the auto W. But gets those 3 stacks. Jayce is forced to recall at this point. And now again, we saw this in, I'm trying to think now, the 14th Euro game. I'm wondering if we're gonna try and zone the Jayce from the wave with the level 6 advantage. But Shaco comes in, we EQ. I'm just gonna try and get out of there now. We're a bit too low, we've got no mana. Might look for a fruit if we're lucky, but hasn't quite spawned. We recall, as we recall, grab the tabbies as we said. When you've got an enemy top jungle combo of just pure AD, especially when they are so auto attack reliant, picking up those tabbies always going to be quite efficient. I think Darius is a pretty good champ to pick up if you're either new to the role or you're just trying to climb or can't decide on a champ. I think Darius is a pretty solid one for solo queue and for learning the role in general. Like, he's not crazily mechanical. As we get the max range Q into the E, almost getting up to 5 stacks here. Shaco's going to come in, we pop the ghost, get the 5 stacks, 1 auto. Shaco might bleed out to that. Oh, we're going for the Q. Let's see here. So, for those of you that don't know, Darius, when he gets 5 stacks on any target, makes any of his future autos or abilities apply max stacks immediately. So we get that onto the Shaco and immediately ult him. He's level 5. And then I think we just catch the Jayce off guard there. Still got that extra move speed going. Just a bit disrespectful, but there we go. Quick little double kill. Tabby's obviously helping in this matchup, not just for the armor, but you're also getting that move speed to help land those Qs. As you can see, it's not always opening with E. Like I say, he is trying to poke it out with Q. And they're not even always hitting, so play aggressive with your Q, I guess, is a takeaway from this, especially when you're against a top lane champ that isn't able to punish you massively. Let's say, for example, you're playing against a Riven. You're probably not going to want to look for too many Q pokes because that will get punished. Riven's just going to dash in, but some of these slightly more immobile champs can get away with that a little bit more. We pick up the whip, run back up top. Jayce not even throwing the QE. There we go. At this point, doing no damage. So we position ourselves aggressively there. I mean, we're hard shoving the wave, so it's not going to deny any gold or XP. But just good idea. I think it was Adrian Riven I was watching one time. And he comes from a fighting game background, and apparently it's more common to talk about in that genre of game, but like the mental stack, just adding things onto your opponent's mental stack. So things they have to think about, like him being here, it's not achieving too much in terms of denial, but just constantly putting pressure on your opponent. Don't give them a chance to relax. Just give them more things to have to think about. And that can help force out little mistakes, little cracks that you can then take advantage of. Jayce soaks up the wave. See how we play this. If we leave the wave, we could have it come towards us. But we walk up. Jayce allows us to get the E. Auto W. Ooh. Watch that again. So we walk up. Manage to get the max range E. Auto W Q. Auto ult. Flash auto with the 5 stacks for that bonus AD. He's going down. We get another plate. Again, this is what I mean about in a lot of these games, we're not seeing freezing often whatsoever. And that's quite surprising because in a lot of my games I'll put quite a big emphasis on setting up freezes whenever possible. But it seems like when you've got this level of mastery on a champion's ranges and just the mechanics are so perfect, it's just confident in being able to take these trades. And probably if he missed that E, I'm sure he'd be looking for a dive under the tower. And just really pushing these advantages through kills and getting plates. Seems like every VOD we've watched so far, whether it's on the Chinese Super server or the pros in EU West, there's a massive emphasis on getting those early plates. Sometimes taking Demolish to help with that, but it's just free gold sat there. And freezers are great, of course, and they're a much safer way of playing. But I suppose when you're confident on a champ like Darius, where he can handle 1v2s fairly well, you know, if you can also draw that pressure as Jayce gets one back on the graves there. I'm going to shove this in. But yeah, if you're confident that you can get a 2v1, then there's also an added benefit in drawing that jungle pressure top lane, allowing your team to breathe a bit. As we're going to start hitting this tower. One more plate left. And again, it'll be interesting to see how he plays after first tower goes. If he's going to continue to push top, or if he's going to look at these other towers, maybe bot lane. Could run down there with Ghost, try and make something happen, get some more plates. Or if he's just going to immediately look for the tier 2 in the top lane. I would imagine the latter. I feel like this Jayce is playing a bit too aggressively. He's got Ghost, so Jayce is... Surprised he didn't Ghost him there. I'm not sure Jayce's flash cooldown. Maybe just doesn't want to trade. Okay, we are going to go for this. Even on a champ like Darius. He has the Iron Spike whip to help. Again, taking enemy jungle, always a great idea. If I were to play Darius, I would definitely slack on that because it's not as fast to clear as, say, someone like Riven with Hydra. But as you can see, still worth doing. As we get the Stride Breaker. Stride Breaker and Ghost, this Jayce is not getting away if we get on top of him now. He's in auto range, he's getting Stride Breakered and slowed with W, and getting run down. As he rotates mid to pick up a wave. And yeah, like I say, XCM seems to want to keep on pressure in the same lane. So we run top, we actually find a Shaco. Or the bleed's going to help reveal him, we also have the sweeper. And the bleed stacks let us know exactly which one it is. And we drop the ult on both. Bit of extra gold from the clone. Okay, so no ult, but we do have Ghost. Again, shove this out. There's bot lane, forcing flashes. Oh, I thought we were actually going mid there. Should have been. Just seems to want a team fight at this point. You know, when you've got these item advantages, try and make these little skirmishes happen. When you're 5-0 at 14 minutes, it's a big deal. Try and get some pressure for these objectives. Drag's coming up in a minute and a half. As we start trying to get more space by taking these towers. We get the rail going in, popping the ult. The ignite's gone down. EQ, we land it and then flash out. Still got these stacks ticking. Walk back in when the Q's off cooldown. We go in, we get the ult on the rail there. That damage on the Samira just from an auto ult. Oh no, it's a Q ult. But still just smacks her up. Pretty vocal guy, XCM. Graves gonna get absolutely one shot. Look at the score, 16 to 13. Enemy team does have hope here. LeBlanc 8-1. So let's see how we push this advantage. I mean, LeBlanc's not even managed to get her own tier 1 yet, so one of those cases where the scoreboard makes it look a lot closer than it actually is. We pick up Death Dance second. Pretty good into the Jayce and Shaco, quite bursty champs. And with Darius Q able to life steal, so just delaying that damage and taking it over time gives you more chance to get those Qs off. As we wait in the bush, Rel's gonna walk up. We open with Q. We actually missed the either, but we get to max stacks, and Rel's gonna go down here. Again, that's pretty standard, like in team fights. If they do have front lines, get up to 5 stacks on their tankier members. Once you're at 5, maybe look for a Q flash to apply those 5 stacks onto the squishies. Because as you saw earlier, it doesn't take a lot. A Q with max stacks can almost half heal some of these squishier champs. With an ult, they're going to be out the game as we getting kited by Gromp. Dragon is available. Imagine it's going to be quite hard to get onto this LeBlanc. Darius just showing presence to allow the Jinx to push out that wave ahead of Dragon, as Victor's going to pick up the Shaco. And Rel once again. I almost forget that champ's name. I never see it in my games. I know she got changed recently, right? Don't know if that's affected her popularity at all, but I still do not see that champion. She just feels so slow. I've only played her like a few times, but when she's off her horse, that movement speed is just crippling. Just gonna grab this wave top. Pick up the wave.
感谢很久的一个超大虎牙1号，谢谢很久老板的超级大虎牙1号，谢谢老板，大吹也谢谢很久老板的超大虎牙1号，谢谢。
Vocal. Okay, enemy team getting some shutdowns. That's what we like. A bit of spice. Q decimating these waves at the moment.
谢谢老板，超大虎牙1号，谢谢老板，谢谢。
As we see the Rel. Is this another gift? He spots us coming. Camera onto the team. I wonder if we're going to take this fight. We are very strong right now, but we don't have a lot of resistance against that LeBlanc. Giving her our shutdown would be very grief. She has WR'd in. Oh, she's gone back to the second position there. I think she's done. Team's already taken our shutdown, sadly, but got the ult reset, the bleeds, and the sweeper. Darius again. Oh, and just to get rid of the clone. Hasn't got time to waste on that. Yeah, that the Blanc just getting a bit too cocky there with the ult W. Using it in the first place, but then going back to the ult. A little bit troll.
还推吗？
11 1-1 right now. At 20 minutes. Start knocking on these inhib towers.
是不是？
Enemy team might have to take a fight here if they want to defend this. LeBlanc goes in, almost one-shots the Jinx, Jesus.
我也
I think we're going to need some
对面辅助没
MR ASAP. As Rel walks up a little bit too far again. Looks a little grief. I don't know if she's running it down. Shaco going in, trying a one-shot.
哎，我想 Q 闪的，哎呦，真烦。
We still have the ult reset here. Managed to get... Ooh. I didn't think we'd kill the LeBlanc there. But we get another kill on the Samira there. And just
来
the
一下，
straight ult on the LeBlanc. Enough damage. I mean, even without the auto afterwards. Bleed would have got her.
哎呦，可惜了。
But taking these fights, it's not even a 5v5. We've got Victor in the top lane, so
锤死了，我死亡之舞没回上血，
great time to take a fight.
太
So
脆
no
了。
matter how it
这
went,
个
we're always going to be picking up that tier 2 top.
太脆了。
And they're
就是
they're
个吸血
basically
鬼，
getting
只会
absolutely
发现这
battered.
都不踢啊！终于开始反击了吗？给我狠狠的
Man,
反
he's
击
having a good time.
啊！
Suppose you would
开
be
始
when
反
you're
击了
14 and 2 on
啊！随
Darius,
意反
but
击，触发技能了，被动坚毅不倒。就是这个吸血鬼，听见没有啊？
Darius probably quite strong at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of tanks in my games
怎么
recently,
攻击
like
这
a
么
lot of
这么
Poppy, a lot of
低啊
Orns. Obviously
攻击有点
Malphite,
低
but
啊
I think his ban rate's fairly high.
你再不攻击他，我就要攻击你了啊！来点攻击力，素质有待降低啊！
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have watched much of XCM before, but his Sett is also terrifying. And his Aatrox, to be fair. Those three champs, I'd say, that's what I'd know him for. Haven't really played much Sett myself. Aatrox is quite fun, but I'd love to do a video on either. As we take the Nash here, we're gonna again spot out the Shaco as we're desperate to get the ult, and the relief washes over him.
RW 刷新大招了，
So we're gonna run it down mid and probably look for the end here. LeBlanc getting a nice bit of poke off on the flank. Not onto the most high prio target. But, I mean, we're so tanky at this point. It would take a miracle. Rel's gonna engage with the Shaco. Managed to get the Blitzcrank. Ult comes out. But we get those 5 stacks for free. And from there on out, it's just massacre. Again, Darius pretty good into heavy engage comps. With the front line so separate from the back line, you just get those few extra seconds to get your passive stacked up. And once you do, you don't even have to finish off the front line. Once you get to 5 stacks, you can always just run past. Look for those instant dot applications. Joko kind of popping off right now. Samira's kiting it out. But not even going to pop the ghost. Oh, we might now. She's either way.
打不过我的。我
No, it's just going to make her suffer.
随便追他的。
As we land the slow with Graves. E-auto. WQ. Standard combo. Again, I don't think I've seen... And it's not a particularly complex combo, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I've seen anyone make it look as clean
一波了，
as
直接去吧
XCM. As it looks like the video is going to end here. I guess they just end or get a forfeit out. And I'm surprised it lasted this long. But 16, 2 and 5. There we go. That's the forfeit.
绝地
Like I say, one of the best Dariuses in the world, if not the best. And just the cleanliness of the combos, I think, is
不知道，
one of the things.
都是无所谓
And
的呀
still playing these matchups aggressively, like going for this Q level 1. Still missed, but again, with the wave the way it is, look how much damage
that.
Jayce takes in the end, especially with that auto. Like, by the time he's out of the wave, like, it's basically an equal health trade. He hasn't popped a potion, D-shield kicking in, so, and that's without hitting the Q. So, play aggressive. Again, similar to 14 Furor. Obviously, they're playing on the Chinese Super Server. It's going to be a bit more crazy than regular, but I think it's useful to see what the limits of the champion is. So, yeah, you don't have to just give entire lane prio up to the Jayce. You can still contest. It's going to be hard to get the shove in because you're either going to have to queue the wave or queue the Jayce. Very rarely is he going to give you the chance to do both, but just remember, play around your minions. We saw it, maybe it was after that. I remember at some point Jayce walked up past the range creeps looking for autos. And rather than just back away from the wave completely, he let the Jayce auto him. Maybe it was here actually. Yeah. So if someone's going to walk up this far in your minion wave, just give them the autos because they're going to take more damage than that. I mean, that was what, 53 damage. They're going to take way more than that from minions alone. And if you keep walking backwards, it gives them a chance to zone you off of XP. So at some point you have to make a stand, unless you're in a terrible matchup where they literally can just all in you level 1. So just something to bear in mind. You know, don't play too passive. A lot of these guys, because they know the limits of their champ so well, they can take these more aggressive stances at level 1. But yeah, that was XCM. Like I say, he's also known for his Darius, his Sett and Aatrox. So yeah, probably end up doing a video on that at some point in the future, but let me know if there's anyone else you'd want me to cover. But other than that, I hope you found this informative and interesting, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.